Good afternoon and welcome to the Port Huron tournament from Port Huron, Michigan. I'm Jim Flanagan on the Gremlins Network. Happy to have you with us wherever you may be watching from. We've got a great one here. Two of the three top teams in the world, the number one ranked New York Gremlins on the field. They are the home team. They'll be taking on Bear Creek Express, the number three ranked team in the world, just about ready for the first pitch. We'll get to the lineups in just a moment. Right now, the action ready to start. It's Brandon Horn stepping in for Bear Creek. Kuba Osika, the youngster from the Czech Republic, in the circle for the Gremlins. Bear Creek a winner last night, 2-0. Justin Schofield a 14 strikeout shutout performance. Riley Mannion will be the starter for Bear Creek. Meanwhile, Brandon Horn slides one into left field for a leadoff single. The ball downstairs, but away from the batter. Got just a bit of it. There's the lineup for Bear Creek. Brandon Horn leading off. Jordan Pomeroy will bat second. Tyler Pauly will bat third. Wayne Laulu, former Gremlin, batting cleanup. Ryan Boland in the 5 spot. Jason Hill in the 6 spot. Travis Jones in the 7th spot. Rai James will bat 8th and catch, and David Galino, one of the top hitters for Bear Creek, in the 9 spot. There's the defense for the Gremlins in the outfield, left to right. Matthew Waugh in left, Benny Noka in center, Brian Abry over in right. Around the horn in the infield, Jerome Remeke bunts down, and it is Remeke picking it up cleanly and flips it over to second baseman Nick Mullins for the out. So Jordan Pomeroy with the successful sacrifice bunt. 5-4 if you're scoring it. There's the replay. Perfect bunt right in front. Gets the job done, and Horn in scoring position now. Finishing up the infield again, it's Remeke at third, Cole Evans at short, Nick Mullins at second base, and Eric Ochoa over at first. Blake Hunter gets the start as the catcher. And as we said, Kuba Osika from the Czech Republic in the circle. That one stays upstairs. Kuba in his first year with the Gremlins. We got a look at him back in January down in Fort Myers, Florida in the exhibition season. Hard-throwing youngster came up into the world competitions, the WBSC, at the age of 17. So he and Jack Besgrove, the other pitcher we've seen already for the Gremlins, a couple of the fine young pitching stars in the game. Tyler Pauly's the batter. He stands in from the left side. Wayne Laulu waiting on deck. Good changeup over the outside edge for a called strike. So Bear Creek, a winner last night, 2-0. That was over AWP. Last night, the Gremlins squeaking out a 1-0 win over the Northeast Drillers. Jack Besgrove, double-digit strikeouts again, going the distance for the win in that one. 1 run scored, leadoff home run by Lucio Redemar. That was the difference in the ball game. The Gremlins, meanwhile, played the Ohio Bombers in an earlier game today. Scored 11 runs in the first inning and didn't look back, so they are 2-0 coming in. That one's a little soft flare to Ochoa. Scoops it, picks it, and throws it over to Evans for the force out. So a double play gets Kuba out of the inning for the Bear Creek Express. No runs, a hit, nobody left. We'll head to the home half of the first and get our first look today at the New York Gremlins. I'm Jim Flanagan on the Gremlins Network. Don't go away. We've got lots of great action for you here from Port Huron. Home half of the first inning. We're coming to you live from Port Huron, Michigan. Just across the street is the St. Clair River feeding into Lake Huron, providing a beautiful scenic blue water backdrop for this tournament. This one being played at Pine Grove Park. Beautiful facility here. Some of the crowd from local people filling in as we go, as they have been throughout the tournament. Lots of great fast pitch here back in the 1970s and 80s, I'm told. Happy to see it coming back here. There's the batting order for the Gremlins. Matthew Waugh will lead things off. Jerome Remeke in the 2 spot. Benny Noka 3. Eric Ochoa in the cleanup spot. Cole Evans will bat 5th. Ty Sebastian, the DP, will bat 6th. Blake Hunter 7th. Brian Avery 8th. And Nick Mullins in the 9 spot. That's the way the Gremlins shape up. Defense for Bear Creek in the outfield. Travis Jones in left. Jordan Pomeroy in center and Wayne Laulu over in right field. Around the horn, it is Brandon Horn at third base. David Galeno at short. Over at second base, Tyler Pauly and Jason Hill rounding things out. On the first base bag, Riley James is the catcher. And Riley Mannion in the circle. Little lazy drop off the outside part of the plate. Mannion was part of a 2-pitcher duo last year that beat these New York Gremlins in the very first game of the season. That was over in Simcoe at the Chiefs Challenge. That loss came before 36 consecutive wins. So Mannion can put that feather in his cap. One of the few pitchers that was a part of a win over the Gremlins last year. But it's a new season. No point in trying to repeat that. Just play good ball, and they come out here. There's a ground ball to Pauly. Flips it over to Hill. 4-3 on a quick put out. The Gremlins last year winning every tournament they played in, including the ISC World Tournament at the end of the season. They were also USA Softball National Champions. 8th time they've done that feat. They've won 3 ISC World Tournaments. So among the very best programs the game has seen for more than a decade. Here's Jerome Remeke. Remeke, a pair of walks in last night's game, showing some good patience with the strike zone. An aggressive hitter, but always looking for his pitch, wanting to give in to anything else. So patient at the plate is Jerome. In for a called strike, good over the top drop on the outside edge. Good place to pitch, Remeke, good power. Anything in, it better be way in. There's a flare ball out to left field. Backing up on it is Travis Jones. Ball carried a little further than I thought. So Remeke retired on a fly out to left field. There's, watch the replay. Location a little bit away. Jerome trying to go with it. Out number 2 in the books. Here's Benny Noka. Noka with a pair of RBIs in this morning's game against the Ohio Bombers, or I should say early afternoon game. Most of the games on Saturday being delayed because of the wet weather. The rain came last night. The fields were a little bit too wet to play earlier, so that game had been moved. There's a fly ball out to center field, and a nice running catch by Jordan Pomeroy. Looked like he might have misjudged it, took a step in, but then made a nice recovery and a nice catch. So Mannion sets down the Gremlins in order. We played 1 complete inning, no score in this one. The New York Gremlins and the Bear Creek Express. We'll be back with more in the top of the second right after this. Wayne Laulu will start things off. Wayne comes in 6 hits in 16 at-bats for a cool .375 batting average. He'll be followed by Ryan Boland, Jason Hill, and if we get that far, Travis Jones. Wayne, of course, a member last year of these New York Gremlins, so winning a USA Softball National Championship, did Wayne, along with the ISC World Tournament win. Now finds himself in burgundy and white, and a member of the Bear Creek Express. Great power has Wayne. Some legendary home runs that he's hit over the years at the ISC World Tournament. One of the most likable people in the game. There's a little slow roller down to Remeke. So Wayne Laulu, the New Zealander. Ball hit down to Jerome Remeke, the Kiwi. And 1 out recorded.
Number 51, Ryan Boland.
Ryan Boland steps in for Bear Creek. Ryan 6 hits in 23 at-bats, so somewhere hovering around that 300 mark. We are on the shores of the St. Clair River under the Blue Water Bridge at Port Huron. A fitting setting because on the other side of that bridge is Canada. There's a little shot down to Remeke at third, and he makes quick work of it. So 2 quick ground outs to Remeke at third for Bear Creek. On the other side of the bridge is Sarnia, Canada. On this side of the bridge, of course, Port Huron. So Bear Creek Express, hailing from Eastern Ontario, province of Canada, representing that side of the bridge. And the Gremlins, the USA squad, here on the Port Huron, Michigan side. So New York they may be, but the Port Huron folks can claim them as their own. Jason Hill, the batter for Bear Creek. 2 quick outs in the books by Kuba. Brandon Horde led things off last inning with a single to left, but he has retired everyone else since in some form or fashion. Misses away with that one. Kuba pitched very well at the junior level coming up. Little flare, pop foul, going to be out of play on the left side. Following in the footsteps of another fine Czech Republic pitcher, Michael Holobratic. Holobratic just one cycle, so to speak, World Cup cycle ahead of Kuba. He is younger, but they are 2 who have gotten plenty of attention over in Prague, Havlík Kubrad, and other places in the Czech Republic. We got a nice visit and look at them in 2019 when Michael Holobratic and his team from the Czech Republic hosted the World. For a time, it was Australia, New Zealand sending over the pitching and the talent in a pipeline. Then it seemed to follow from Argentina, and of late, the European continent now sending players over, most notably the Czech Republic. So all international rosters on these teams, players that see each other on the world stage. Just missing with that one. You see from the facial expression, Kuba thought he had one there, nibbling around the edges. Hill somewhat slightly built, but boy, some power in that bat. So Kuba wisely pitching carefully around the edges to Jason. There's a ground ball. It's going to find his way up the middle to the right of Nick Mullins. So that breaks the string, and Hill notches the 2nd hit of the game for the Bear Creek Express.
Number 2, Travis Jones.
Travis Jones, the left fielder for Bear Creek, will step in now with a two-out situation. We'll see if they try and move Hill over, get him over somehow. A little three-hopper to Cole Evans, down on one knee, nicely scoops and picks over to Mullins. 6-4 on the force out. Jones reaching on the fielder's choice, but the side retired. So again, for Bear Creek, one hit, no runs, and nobody left. We'll head to the home half of the second inning. No score in this one. New York Gremlins and the Bear Creek Express from Ontario, Canada. We'll be right back. Home half of the second inning here in Fort Huron. Get our second look at the Gremlins. 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order. That means Eric Ochoa, Cole Evans, and Ty Sebastian. Sebastian on loan, so to speak, from the Toronto Batmen. Nice addition to the Gremlin roster this week. Ty picking up a win in the earlier game against the Ohio Bombers. And another one of those good hitting pitchers. He'll swing his own bat as the DP in this one, one of the best players on that Toronto Batman team. Canadian fans, of course, will remember that final between Bear Creek Express and Ty Sebastian's Toronto Batman. That one going 15 innings before the Toronto Batman turned the fast pitch world on its head and came away with the championship in that one. But the great legendary games last year. Ochoa right now the top in the hit category, tops in RBIs, and a number of others. He is a run producer, one of the best pure hitters in the game. Eric, of course, a member of the USA men's national team. Originally out of the San Diego area, now over in Arizona. In for a called strike off the plate away from Ochoa. Eric will use all of the field, likes to go the other way if he gets a pitch away. That one's in on the outside edge for a called strike. So 3-2 now. Mannion comes in with the last one. Cole Evans waiting on deck, and then, as we said, Ty Sebastian will follow Evans. Little flare, pop fly in left field. Coming on is Travis Jones. He'll make the catch over by the foul line. So 4 consecutive batters set down by Mannion. And it'll be Cole Evans to step in and take his hacks. Cole with 5 hits in the early season, a couple of those for extra bases, had a home run, a double. Played very well in last weekend's Chiefs Challenge tournament in Simcoe, Ontario. Had himself a whale of a tournament at the ISC World Tournament last year. In on the outside edge for a called strike. Much warmer here today in Port Huron. Last night, a little chilly. Everybody had jackets on around the field. There's a line shot into center field, so Evans with another hit. Breaks the string, first hit off of Mannion. Looked like he got one up in the zone. Take a look at it here on the replay. Out over the heart of the plate, and he just laces it to center field for a base hit. So here is Ty Sebastian. Don't have the numbers on Ty as far as a hitter. We'd have to sneak into the books of the Toronto Batmen, but he is always among the leaders on that squad. Off the plate away. 71 miles per hour, in case you're curious, the speed that Mannion is throwing at. Most of the players at this level, there or higher. Marco Diaz, of course, comes to mind. Hill United's pitcher, not here in the tournament. That one gets away from Riley James, and down to second goes Evans on the pass ball. Marco Diaz throwing in the mid to even upper 80s. So he is the benchmark, so to speak. Lots of other pitchers at this level, though. Mid to high 70s. Speed alone won't do it, though. Lots of great movement. We saw some of that last night from Jack Besgrove, the ace of the Gremlins staff. Complete game victory, shutout, double-digit strikeouts once again. And Lucio Redemar coming through as the hero in back-to-back games last night with a solo homer to lead it off for the win. That coming on the heels of his 3-run homer in the championship game just a week ago in Simcoe, Ontario. So Redemar not in the starting lineup in this game, but making it difficult for the skipper to keep him out. A deep, deep roster and bench for the Gremlins. That one's upstairs, taken for a ball by Sebastian, and it winds up to the screen. Cole Evans alertly picking up another 60 feet, now down at third base. So runners at the corners, one out.
Number 12, Blake Hunter.
James will go out and have a quick word with his pitcher, as will the rest of the infield, see if they're all on the same page. Presume talking more about what Sebastian and Cole Evans may be up to than the hitter at the plate, but it's Blake Hunter stepping in. Usually pitcher-catcher if it's a conference about the batter, and that was the whole infield. So everybody talking about where they will be and what they will be doing. The defense for Bear Creek is straight away. Corners just about even with the bag, maybe a step or two in front and off the line. Hunter with good power will use all of the field. Looking for a gap here. Something that Sebastian might be able to score on. Swing and a miss comes out of his shoes on that one. No doubt about what he had in mind. Good rise ball. Maybe the best we've seen so far from Mannion. Sebastian, a good athlete, runs pretty well over at first base. Looking across the diamond at the skipper, Greg Leather. Anything through or out of the infield will score Evans. The question is whether Hunter can find a gap that'll put Sebastian off to the races from first base. That one high and away. Mannion's release point a little high on that pitch, looking like he was trying to force the drop over the top. Upstairs again for a ball, so Hunter patiently works the walk. That'll load the bases and bring Brian Avery to the plate. And we'll bring a conference to the circle once again, this time the skipper joining in.
Batting eighth, number 33, Brian Avery.
Hunter and Avery, the BC, British Columbia boys, back-to-back in the lineup in this one. British Columbia, of course, will be the host of the ISC World Tournament this summer in August. That'll be up in Surrey, British Columbia. Our good friend Rich Haldane up there, a big part of the responsibility and reason for that tournament going west. A lot of folks up in the British Columbia area looking forward to that one coming their way in August. So keep an eye on that one as the summer progresses. Right now, Brian Avery against Riley Mannion. Bases are loaded. It's Evans at third, Sebastian at second, Blake Hunter over at first. Sebastian on the left side of the bag trying to look in. Over the top drop, took a little bit off it, but it misses away for a ball. On cue, throwing on the sideline. Looks like it may be, we'll get a look on that. Colin Walsh backing up. The pitcher warming up on the sideline. See if we can pick up that number. Pitch from Mannion. High pop fly, center field, caught off on the catch is Evans. He'll come in and score on the sacrifice fly. So Mannion recording the out, but the Gremlins break the ice. Sac fly for Brian Avery and the RBI. Coming home to score Evans. Sebastian and Hunter stay put at first and second. So Hunter, the catcher in this one, I think will give way for a runner. That indeed is what is happening. It'll be fellow British Columbian Brian Avery, who just made the last out, who will take his place under the two-out catcher rule. That, of course, designed to keep the game moving, let the catcher put his gear on without waiting for the final out of the inning. Nick Mullins is the batter. We're at the 9 spot in the batting order for the Gremlins. One run in, they'd like to get another one. It looks like Pamidzani Mazulawaka. I'm going to have to work on that pronunciation down, warming up on the sidelines. See if we can get some notes on him. One of a number of pitchers in the Bear Creek dugout. They brought a bevy of them with them to the tournament. To 1 count to Mullins. Away, taken for a ball. Looked like he tried to push that drop ball, kind of a drop curve away from the right-hander, but missing wide. So 3-1 and in danger of loading the bases once again. Mannion struggling a little bit with the strike zone here in the second. There's a grounder out to short. He'll go the short way to second. David Galeno over to Tyler Pauly for the 6-4 put out. Side retired, but the Gremlins cash one in. They get a hit, a sac fly, and a run. We'll go to the top of the third inning. This one, New York Gremlins on top, 1 over Bear Creek, nothing. We'll be back with more great action. Don't go away. Top half of the third inning, you're watching the Fort Huron tournament from Fort Huron, Michigan on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We're ready to start the third inning. It'll be 8-9-1 for Bear Creek. That's Riley James, David Galeno, and Brandon Horn. Back to the top of the order we go. Kuba Osika from the Czech Republic, first offering a nice changeup. Floats that one in for a called strike. Misses inside, evens the count at 1-1. Foul, tip straight back to the screen. James came into the tournament 4 hits in 8 at-bats, so a small sample size. That is the case for most of these hitters, just second or third big tournament of the year. This is the Gremlins' second. Bear Creek playing in the ISC East, so they've got a little bit more under their belt, but Riley James doing well with the at-bats he's had. Way upstairs, taken for a ball. Little lazy drop underneath, swings right over the top of it. Good movement by Osicha. Took a little bit off and fooled Riley James. So down on strikes he goes. First strikeout in the game for Kuba. That's his nickname, Jacob, the full name, but everybody calls him Kuba. We always tell people that's Kuba with a K, as in strikeout. Kuba the pitcher, not the country. Here's David Galeno. Galeno, one of the hottest hitters for this Bear Creek team in the early part of the 2024 season. Always nice when your batter in the 9 spot is producing like David is. Just missing off the plate with that one. That evens the count at 1-1. Good hard drop, good hack by Galeno, fouled off the screen. Upstairs, taken for a ball. Foul tip, good location by Kuba. Tucked that one under the hands of Galeno. Two hits in the game thus far for Bear Creek. Nothing to show for it yet. The Gremlins just one hit, but scored a run on the sac fly by Brian Avery. Hopping has skipped that one, 35-foot drop in front of the plate. So that'll run the count full on David Galeno. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Defense for the Gremlins straight away, with the exception of Inoka, who is shaded towards right field, so the gap is in left center. Little soft grounder down to Ochoa. He'll scoop it up and head to the bag, make the play himself. 3 unassisted if you're keeping a scorecard with us. That's the second out of the inning. And that flips us back to the top of the shop to Brandon Horn. Horn led off the game with a single to left field, clean shot through the hole between short and third. Same location, that one a hopper to Remeke. Remeke over to Ochoa for the out, 5-3 on the putout. So Kuba Usikcha makes quick work of the Express in the third, 3 up and down. No runs, no hits, and no one left. To the home half of the third inning we go. You're watching the Port Huron, Michigan tournament from Port Huron, of course, on the Gremlins Network. We'll be right back. Home half of the third inning. It'll be top of the order for the Gremlins. That means Matthew Waugh, Jerome Remeke, and Ben Inoka. We have a battery change in full for the Bear Creek Express. Cornelius coming in to do the catching. And our substitute pitcher, I'm going to have to work on that pronunciation, but he showed up with the entire alphabet, it seems. I'm going to need a bigger scorecard if he's going to be pitching. Hamidzani is the first name. Last name is spelled Madzulukwa. Madzulukwa, or something like that. We'll do our best to help us out with the pronunciation. You have one at home. Madzulu for short, I suppose we can use. in the heat of the battle. So Cornelius coming in to catch, and Matt Zulawak doing the pitching for the Bear Creek Express. They tell me Sean Cleary did not make the trip, so imagine one of the additions to this team. So close the book on Mannion, just 2 innings of work, gave up 1 run, 1 hit. We mentioned Bear Creek, a winner last night, 2-0. That was over the AWP Lumberjacks. Justin Schofield, 14 strikeouts, so they notched a win. All the teams vying for one of the spots in the Final Four in tomorrow's playoff round. The Gremlins winning last night barely over the Northeast Drillers, 1-0. And then an 11-0 run-ahead rule victory over the Ohio Bombers earlier today. Gremlins struck for 11, count them 11 runs in the first inning and closed out a short game. Ty Sebastian picking up the win in that one. Back to the action we go. Top of the order for the Gremlins. Wah, Remeke, Andy Noka. Ochoa would follow if we get that far. Defense for Bear Creek straight away. The outfield giving a bit of room for Matthew. Leadoff hitter or not, has good power. He will pop one from that leadoff spot more than occasionally. That one in for a called strike right at the letters at the top of the strike zone. The addition of Lucio Redemar this year has given skipper Greg Leather another option, another left-handed hitting left fielder. So he and Wah have been platooning sometimes. Zenon Winters going down with an injury in last night's game, so skipper will be glad to have Redemar available as well. We hope Zenon will be okay. That one's a shallow pop fly, and coming all the way in to make the catch on the run is Travis Jones. So Matt Zulawak recording the first out. You see it there, ball in the upper end of the strike zone, but same pitch that was called for a strike the pitch before. So Matthew swinging at that one. Here's Remeke. Remeke a fly out to left field himself in his first trip to the plate. Wide open stance, gets his first look at the reliever. Little change-up drop over the top, stays upstairs for a ball. The book shows Bear Creek Express came into the tournament with a 9-7 record, but that can be deceiving. Half a dozen of those games came against Hill United, the number 2 ranked team, so they are not playing any easy teams. There's a pop fly in the infield. It'll be second baseman Tyler Pauly to make the catch for out number 2.
Number 89, Ben.
Hill United, the number 2 ranked team, is not here this weekend. Numbers 1, 3, and 4 are, along with number 8 AWP. So the Gremlins 1, Bear Creek 3, and the Drillers that we saw last night came in as the number 4 ranked team. So some of the best of the very best. Here's Benny Noka. Benny fly out to straightaway center field his first time at the plate. Veteran of many seasons, young as he still is. First saw Benny back in '08 as a junior player for Team New Zealand up in Whitehorse. Brother Thomas, of course, on the other side of the field in the Bear Creek dugout. So brother against brother in this one. Rise ball high, stays upstairs. The Gremlins got their run in the second. Cole Evans a single. Moved around to third and then came home on the sac fly. Hit by Brian Avery. That one's lifted out into shallow left field. Travis Jones camps under it, and he'll make the catch for the out. So an easy inning in his first inning of work for Matsulu Kawa. 3 up and down, no runs, no hits, and nobody left for the Gremlins. 3 complete innings. It's 1-0 New York Gremlins on top of the Bear Creek Express. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. Hits, but it is Pomeroy at the top of that list, and he's got himself another little flare single out to center field. Inoka will come on and make the play. So Pomeroy with a leadoff single.
Number 6, Tyler Pauly.
And speaking of fine young talent from Canada, here's Tyler Pauly. Pauly also another product of the Canadian system, coming up through the juniors program. Now finding himself a home in the heart of the batting order for the number 3 ranked Bear Creek Express. That speaks volumes. Pomeroy down at first. It's Coach Larry Lynch over in the first base coach's box. Rise ball stays upstairs, taken for a ball. So the count even at 1-1. Pomeroy looking across the diamond to the signs being flashed by the skipper in the third base box. Little flare almost takes out the aforementioned coach in the third base box. A little late on the swing, but Pauly got a good piece of that one as he tries to size up Osika. Drop ball, little flare. It's going to be out of play on the left side. Port Huron, Michigan, for those of you geographically challenged. About an hour and 15 minutes north of Detroit. Hour and 15-minute drive or so up along the so-called thumb of the map of Michigan, if you are familiar with that gloved outline. There's a ball hit into right field. It's going to fall in front of Avery. Around second, on his way to third is Pomeroy. So back-to-back hits have runners at the corners. Watch on the replay if we may. Single to right field for Tyler Pauly. So the youngsters do what's asked of them. That'll bring a conference to the circle for all of the Gremlin infielders. Talking about what's going on with Pauly at first and Pomeroy at third, both with very good speed. And at the plate, power in the form of Wayne Laulu. In for a called strike. Good over the top drop on the outside edge. Laulu a bit like Remeke in the sense that if the ball is in, it needs to be way in, or Wayne will turn on the ball. There's one, a little flare pop fly in the infield. It'll be Mullins going back on his heels to the edge of the grass. Makes a nice play. Not always an easy play to make. Watch the replay, you'll see. Nick kept a bead on it the entire way. Ball carried and drifted a bit, but the out recorded. Runners still at the corners, and it's Ryan Bolin. Bolin a ground out to Remeke in his first trip to the plate. Kuba would like to coax a ground ball out of him right now and get a double play and get out of this situation. One out in the book. Swing and a miss on the drop ball downstairs. Good location from Kuba. Bolin 6 for 23, so above the 300 mark in the batting average category. Misses downstairs, Bolin getting a good bit of encouragement out of the Bear Creek dugout. They would like to see the score even. Bolin with a chance to do that. Grounder to short, Evans to second, Mullins over to first. Double play. So Kuba gets the ground out, and the defense for the Gremlins do the rest. 6-4 on the force at second, 4-3 on the double play, and the side retired. Bear Creek, 2 hits to lead things off, but nothing to show for it. No runs, 2 hits, and no one left. To the home half of the fourth we go. We'll be back with more great action. You're watching the Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. We'll be right back. Home half of the fourth inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 4, 5, and 6. Ochoa, Evans, and Sebastian. Eric Ochoa, the hottest hitter thus far in this young 2024 season for the Gremlins. Came into the tournament batting an eye-popping .579, 11 hits in 19 at-bats. Leader in hits, almost the leader in RBI. He has 9, just behind Lucio Redemar, who's the leader for the Gremlins. Eric with 2 home runs, a double. He has been very, very productive at the plate. Didn't care for the call on that one. Thought it was downstairs, but in for a called strike. Eric, a fly ball out to left field to Travis Jones last time up. That, of course, was against Mannion, so everyone getting a look at a different pitcher here in the form of Matsulu Kwa. Misses away and upstairs for a ball. Defense for Bear Creek straight away over in right field. Laulu playing a little bit towards the foul line with the lefty Ochoa up. That one's fouled out of play on the left side. Ochoa, very good power to go with the contact hitting. He is the complete hitter. Two balls and a strike. Hitter's pitch here. Swing and a miss, a good one. 2-2, I guess. Down on strikes goes Ochoa. Best movement we've seen on a pitch. Watch the replay if we can.
Number 34, Cole Evans.
Cole Evans will step in. Cole with a single to center his first time up. Came around to score the only run. Here's the last pitch to Ochoa. Watch the movement away, up and away. Nice location. Evans scoring the only run in the game so far. Would like to get back aboard. Ty Sebastian will be next. In for a called strike right at the top of the strike zone. Swing and a foul tip straight back to the screen. Evans just missing that one. In for a call, strike 3. Great location again from Matsulu.
Number 18, Ty Sebastian.
So all he has done since he came into the game is set down 5 in a row. Every batter he has faced thus far. So a very impressive outing, especially against a team like the Gremlins. Here's Ty Sebastian. Sebastian walked in his first trip to the plate. That coming against Mannion, so his first look also at the reliever. Swing and a miss on the drop ball, a good one. Watching the pitches to the last couple of hitters, a little reminiscent of Jack Besgrove with the late movement. Ball seems to tail at the end of the pitch. In for a called strike, likes to throw that ball right at the letters. Has been successful doing it thus far, but of course a dangerous place to be throwing the pitches. Changeup down in the dirt, taken for a ball. That one breaking the radar gun at 53 miles per hour, but the change, of course. Sebastian lifts one high into right field. Going over to make the catch is Laulu for the third out of the inning. Side retired. So once again, 3 up and down by Matt Zulu. Gremlins, no runs, no hits, no one left. We played 4 complete innings here in Port Huron. Still 1-0 Gremlins, reminiscent of last night's game. We'll be back with more. Grab something to eat, grab a soda, but don't go away. More great action coming up. Top half of the 5th inning, it'll be Hill, Jones, and Riley James. 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. Jason Hill a single to center in his first trip to the plate. That threat erased on a force out that followed from Travis Jones. In for a call, strike on the outside edge. Special guest on hand here in Port Huron today, sitting right down in front of us, former Major League Baseball player Jim Gosker, well known for being the last batter that Satchel Paige faced. And if I understood it correctly, a former member of the Boston Red Sox, Seattle Pilots in their early days. So right here on hand in Port Huron. In for a called strike. Hill didn't like it. Lets his opinion be known. Steps out and now back in. Way upstairs, rise ball. Never really had a look at the strike zone. Good movement, but just out of the zone. A ball and 2 on Jason Hill. High pop foul. It's going to be out of play over on the right side. Lots of local fans on hand here coming back to see big time fast pitch. Used to be a big crowd out here during the 70s and 80s. Had several modified championships, national championship teams here. A popular place to be. So getting a good chance to see some of the world's best right here in 2024. Just off the plate. The Express has gotten base runners aboard, mostly in hit variety, but just haven't been able to push one across against Cuba. Misses away. He shows his disfavor on the call. Thought he had a strike on Hill, but Hill is aboard with a leadoff walk.
Number 2, Travis Jones.
Travis Jones will step in. Jones reached on a fielder's choice. That was a force out for the third out of the second inning, with Hill being erased at second. Bear Creek put the leadoff batter aboard in the first inning, put 2 aboard in the fourth inning, just haven't cashed one in. Misses inside for a ball. Wayne Laulu over in the Bear Creek dugout leading the cheers and jeers over there, trying to get his batter fired up and distract young Cuba. In for a call, strike on the outside edge. Good location from Cuba. Defense for the Gremlins straight away, with the exception of Inoka, who shaded towards right, with the left-hander Jones at the plate. Fly ball out to Inoka, deep to right center. Going back is Avery, and Inoka, goodbye. That one's out of here. Home run, Travis Jones. So Inoka was playing him in the right location, but not enough room to get to that one. Home run, and that puts Bear Creek on top by a 2-1 score. Watch the replay. See the location. Up in the zone and up and out of here.
Number 7, Nicholas Cornelius.
You could tell from the way Inoka was moving that he knew it was going to be close. Brian Avery coming over from right field to give chase as well. But a 2 RBI home run. And that looks like that'll be all for Cuba. He'll give way to Jack Besgrove. So Cuba doing well through the first 4. Gets touched up for a pair here. And the skipper will go right to the ace of the staff, Jack Besgrove. Besgrove, the winner in last night's game, the 1-0 game against the Northeast Drillers. And he has been in mid-season form in this young 2024 season. Double-digit strikeouts, I won't say every time, but almost every time out. So the leadoff walk hurts the Gremlins. They are now on the short end of the 2-1 score. These two teams, no strangers. They met in last year's ISC World Tournament Championship game. Also met in the USA national championship game in Mankato, Minnesota. We were on hand for that one. Gremlins coming away winners in both of those tournaments, but right now chasing a run here in the 5th. So the first batter of the Express to face Bestgrove will be Riley James. James, a strikeout victim, but that was Kuba last time up. So from righty to lefty, they'll be facing the left-hander Bestgrove. Swing and a miss late on that one. I didn't notice whether Jack was up throwing. Kuba had sailed through 4 without surrendering a run. The damage happened pretty quickly here in the 5th. The walk followed by the homer. Swing and a miss on the rise ball. Good elevation. That one starting high and moving way up out of the zone. Looks like it's hittable, but can't catch up with it. I said Riley James. It's actually Cornelius who came on to catch when they made the battery change in the 3rd. Swing and a miss late on that one, so Bestgrove slows the freight train, notches a strikeout, his first in the game, 1 out in the inning.
Number 4, David Galino.
And that'll take us to the 9 spot to David Galino. Galino tapped out to Ochoa at first base his first time up. Swinging a foul, tip back to the screen. Pretty good swing at the pitch, just a little bit late catching up to Bestgrove. Good pitch right down the heart of the plate. All 3 pitches being used last night by Jack. The rise, the drop, and the good change. Over the top drop, misses upstairs. Bestgrove came on in relief in the championship game in last week's tournament, the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe. Set down 9 batters in a row. Foul tip, a good changeup. We talked about it, over the top, still moving when Galino swung. Got a little piece of it hung on by Blake Hunter. So 2 quick strikeouts for 2 quick outs. Back to the top of the order we go. Brandon Horn will get his first look at young Jack Bestgrove. Horn 1 for 2, both of those at-bats against Osika. Single to left and grounded to third. But a different look here from Jack Bestgrove. A little slow roller out to Nick Mullins. He'll flip it to Ochoa. Just like that, 3 up and out. But the damage done by Bear Creek. They lead off a walk and homer him for 2 runs on the 1 hit, and they take a 2-1 lead as we head to the home half of the 5th. We'll be back with that action right after this. Home half of the fifth innings, the Gremlins are chasing a run. Down 2-1 here. The reliever who came on in the third inning, Pamadzani Mazulakwa, has done nothing but set down every hitter he has faced in this Gremlin batting order. 6 up and 6 down. Giving the Gremlin hitters fits. We'll see what they do here in the fifth on the short end of a 2-1 lead. Hunter, Avery, and Mullins, 7, 8, 9, then back to the top of the order if we get that far to Matthew Waugh. That one's laced into left field, but coming on to make the catch for out number 1 is Travis Jones.
Number 33, Brian Avery.
Brian Avery will step in. Avery, the owner of the lone RBI for the Gremlins in this one. Had a sac fly that brought home Cole Evans back in the second. Until the Jones home run, that had been the difference in the game. In for a called strike. Madzulakwa working pretty quickly to the hitters. Doesn't waste a lot of time getting his sign once he toes the pitching plate. Little change up, and Avery stays back on it. Caught on the run by Jordan Pomeroy. Looked like it might drop in front of him, but good speed out there. Has Pomeroy makes the catch for out number 2. Watch it on the replay. He stayed back on the changeup, and it looked like might have himself a hit, but young Jordan come on to make the catch. 8 consecutive batters retired by the reliever Madzulakwa. Here's Nick Mullins, fielder's choice, back in the second inning. So Mullins, the last hitter faced by Riley Mannion, the starter for Bear Creek. Upstairs misses with a rise ball. Gremlins struggled to score runs last night against Martin Gonzalez, but a very well-pitched game by Martin. And seeing more of the same from the Bear Creek Express. They, of course, scored 11 in their earlier game against the Ohio Bombers, but different pitching in that one. They scored 11 in the first inning alone. Always be nice if you could bottle the runs and save them for later, but it never works out that way. And again, you have to remember the Gremlins are facing the number 3 and 4 teams in Bear Creek and the Northeast Drillers. So a very fine pitching staffs on both of those clubs. Little change up, spinner in the dirt over to first base, picked up by Jason Hill. One of those change-ups that took forever to get to the plate and looked like Mullins hit it off the end of the bat. Little cue shot. So Madzulakwa mixing in the change-up a little bit more on the hitters in this part of the order than he did with the first half a dozen or so. So he's got Mullins in a hole, 1 and 2. Mullins steps out for a moment, something in his eye. Clears that, and he's set and ready. Upstairs, misses with the rise ball again. So the count on Mullins even at 2-2, trying to get something going here in the fifth. In for a called third strike. Down goes Mullins, down go the Gremlins in the fifth. No runs, no hits, and no one left. To the top of the sixth we go. Early getting late for the Gremlins. We'll be back with more action. You're watching the Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV from Port Huron, Michigan. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll be right back. Top of the sixth inning for Bear Creek. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Pomeroy, Pauly, and Laulu. Bear Creek looking to add an insurance run. New York looking to keep Bear Creek in striking distance. Besgrove on in relief against Pomeroy, swinging a miss late on the rise ball. Good pitch from Jack. Jack entered the game last inning after the Travis Jones home run. The 2-run homer put Bear Creek on top. Set down Cornelius and Galeno on strikes. Got the ground out from Horn. And here he is now against Pomeroy. In for a called strike. Top 4 teams will advance to the playoff round tomorrow. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. The 1 versus 4 game will be here on this field. 2 versus 3 will be on the Beach Road field where the Gremlins played their second game. Foul tip over on the left side. The Gremlins won last night and again today, so they are 2-0 coming into this one. So they figure to be in the mix in that Final Four. But they would certainly prefer to be the 1 team. Changes the location of the game as well as the opponent. Bear Creek came into this game 1-0. They have one more game tonight against Midland, Michigan. Swing and a foul tip. The Drillers also in the mix. They will play Midland next game here on this field. They were losers last night against the Gremlins. So unlikely they would be the 1 seed. This game figures to play a pivotal role in that one. Little grounder foul up along the left side. Just missed putting one in play. That one's lifted out into shallow right field. Avery coming on around the foul line and makes the catch in foul territory. So Pomeroy retired, the first out of the 6th inning. And that'll bring Tyler Pauly to the plate. Pauly 1 for 2 on the day, popped out to Ochoa at first, and a single to right field in the 4th. Pomeroy and Pauly had led off with singles back in that 4th, but didn't get anywhere. It took the home run from Jones to break the ice for the Express. Rise ball up and out of the zone. Talking about other teams that may be in that playoff round tomorrow, we check on AWP Lumberjacks. They, of course, lost to this Bear Creek team last night, 2-0. Pretty good ball game. Justin Schofield's strikeout machine, though. A little two-hopper. Ochoa drops it, picks it up, and recovers and steps on the bag. Nice play by Eric. That one could have been trouble if it got down the line. Watch the replay.
Number 29, Wayne Laulu.
Just got away from him for a moment, but managed to stay in control, makes the out. So 2 out of the inning. Wayne Laulu will step in. Laulu 0 for 2. Grounder to third, pop out to second. That went in for a called strike. Wayne making a little bit of a face like he wasn't expecting that location. Got a little bit too close to that one. Hello, rise ball. Changeup stays upstairs. Good idea, just a little bit out of the zone. But talking about the AWP Reapers, they lost last night to Bear Creek. They beat the Ohio Bombers today and then lost to the Drillers. So it looks like they may be vying for a 4 spot depending on what Midland does in their last 2 games. No easy task for Midland. They'll face the Drillers next and then Bear Creek. So they'll be taking on the number 3 and 4 ranked teams in the world. These 2 teams fighting to stay undefeated, fighting for that number 1 seed. Little flare, took a little bit off that one. It looked like Wayne reached out, just got a piece of it to stay alive. Defense straight away. The outfield not especially deep for Laulu, but with 2 strikes and Bestgrove throwing probably about right where they are. Swing and a foul tip gets away from Hunter. Good location. Wayne again fighting it off, battling to stay alive. So he's thrown them all 3 pitches, the rise, the change, and the drop. Let's see where he goes with this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, advantage Bestgrove. Drop ball, 1 hopper to Cole Evans. Evans over to Ochoa for the out. 3 up and down, an easy inning for Bestgrove. No runs, no hits, no one left for Bear Creek. But they will take a 2-1 lead as we head to the home half of the 6th. And be back after this. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan with Luciano Lofrano and Softball Premier TV. Port Huron, Michigan. We'll be back. Home half of the sixth inning for the Gremlins. Early has become late. They're at the top of the order, third time through for the Gremlins, but second time through against the reliever, Hamadzani Madzulu Kwa. And he has pitched in a way that he deserves to have his name pronounced correctly. We will go to school and study that one for future reference, but he has done something that very few pitchers can claim. 9 up and 9 down against the New York Gremlins. He has been perfect thus far. Came on in the top of the third inning, or bottom of the third inning, facing Wah. Went through the entire batting order with no base runners. Here's Wah's second look. Change up in for a called strike. Matthew, a fly out to center field first time, or to left field first time up. 5 of the 9 outs by fly balls. 3 of them by strikeouts. So Gremlins looking to put the ball in play. If you add the pop-up as a fly out, 6 fly outs and 3 strikeouts. That's the 9 batters he's faced. Horn in a good 3 steps or so from third. Misses away, 2 balls and a strike. The Gremlins still with Lucio Redemar in the dugout, not used yet. He's at the top of the hit and RBI categories for the Gremlins. So an ace in the hole, so to speak. We'll see how skipper Greg Leather decides to use him, if he does, down the stretch in this one. Not as if the rest of the hitters are struggling to put the bat on the ball. It's just been in for a call strike on Wah. Upper end of that strike zone. Not happy with the call. Two balls, 2 strikes to Matthew Wah, looking for his first hit in this game. Just off the plate away. Count runs full, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Matthew Wah, trying to find a way to get aboard. Put that tying run aboard. Pop fly in shallow center field. Everybody giving chase. Jordan Pomeroy says, I've got it, and got it he does. Yet another fly out. 10 consecutive batters retired by Pad Matzulukwa. That is a name that not only gives scorekeepers fits and broadcasters, but imagine making a uniform and putting his name on the back. You'd need to start at one belt, side of the belt, and go all the way over the top. If you're scoring at home, his first name is spelled P-A-M-I-D-Z-A-N-I. The last name M-A-D-Z-U-L-U-K-W-A. And if you're not keeping score at home, that might be one of the reasons why. No room on the score sheet for that one. But room on the diamond for Bear Creek. Here's Jerome Remeke. Vanna White looks at that name. I think she's all out of vowels and consonants. Remeke 0 for 2. Fly out and a pop out. That one skips and hops in the dirt. 39-foot drop. 2-0 on Jerome. I hear the Bear Creek players calling him Pammy, P-A-M-I, so maybe that's a short version we can use. Misses away, 3-0. If I'm not mistaken, I think the first time he's reached 3 balls against any of the Gremlin hitters. Jerome, perhaps the most patient of all. 2 walks in last night's game. That one's upstairs, and Jerome is aboard. So the string of 10 is broken. We'll see if the spell is broken as well. Remeke represents the tying run. He'll give way to a pinch runner, of course. It'll be fellow countryman Tane Mumu. A couple of New Zealanders. So Tane will come on, the best speed on the Gremlin team. He'll come down to first base, get a word of encouragement from first base coach Greg Hicks. Skipper Greg Leather running through the signs. Mumu, great speed, was thrown out trying to steal last night by the Drillers. I think with the heart of the order coming up, Skipper may not make that move, may try and move them around. Here's Inoka. Fly to center, fly out to left, 0 for 2. He's off to the races, first pitch, and he's sliding in safely. Ball gets by, Pomeroy throws to third, but not in time. And it got away over here past third base, and Mumu takes a look like maybe I'm going home. But Leather over at third throws a rope around him. So much for my theory they wouldn't send Mumu. He was off on the first pitch. So just like that, the Gremlins tying run just 60 feet away. Credit Mumu with a stolen base and moving over to third on the throwing error. Pami Matzulu over to back up third, where the ball could have gone to the screen, and Mumu might have scored. So Inoka now just trying to get something in the outfield. He does, gets it deep enough to center, I think. Pomeroy coming on there, Mumu off on the catch, slides in safely. Sac fly for Inoka. We've got a tie game. 2-2. So watch the replay. You see Inoka got it up just deep enough. Pomeroy had a pretty good head of steam coming on from center, but with Mumu's speed, no way to get him at home. So a key move by skipper Greg Leather. He puts in the pinch runner, sends him on the first pitch. They get him to third and tie the game on another sac fly, second sac fly RBI. Here's Eric Ochoa trying to reset. Ball upstairs. So it's still been one fly out after another for the Gremlins, but they will take that one, thank you very much, and notch their second run in a tie game. Gremlins, the home team, they'd love to punch one through here and get 3 outs and call it a day. So a big turn of events here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Gremlins. They have flipped the table on Bear Creek, or at least gotten even. If nothing else, broke the ice on Madzilakwa. That one stays upstairs, taken for a ball. And as with the Bear Creek first run, it was a walk aboard in front of the Travis Jones home run. It was the patience of Jerome Remicky who worked a walk that put Tane Mumu on base to score. Up around the letters, Ochoa looks surprised by that call. 2 balls and a strike. Eric not afraid to swing at pitches away from him. That was away and up. Not a pitch he'd be swinging at regardless, just didn't like the call. Not in his wheelhouse. Swing and a miss on a rise ball, a good one. A little extra velocity on that one, good movement. Maybe the best rise ball we've seen thus far from Pami Madzilakwa. Off the plate away, taken for a ball. Now 12 batters that have faced Madzilakwa, not a single ground ball among them. All of the outs, flyouts or strikeouts. Full count here to Ochoa. There's one laced into right center field. That one's going to hit the gap. Eric will make the turn at first and hold on. Not an especially hard hit ball, but plenty of ability to get out there in the gap. And he's aboard with the potential winning run. Ball put back in play.
Number 34, Cole Evans.
From right field, looks like we'll have a runner for Ochoa as well. Looks like Ladislao Malarczuk coming on. It is. So Ladislao Malarczuk will run for Ochoa with Evans coming to the plate. A defensive change for Bear Creek that we didn't note. I didn't hear the report, but it's not Laulu in right field anymore. A little too far away to see the number without my binoculars. 20? Thank you. Here's Cole Evans. Rise ball stays upstairs. So Madzilakwa not quite as sharp this inning as he was in the 3 prior. That one's lifted out into center field. Back goes Pomeroy towards the fence. It gets away, bounces off the fence. Coming around third is Malarczuk. He'll score. And into second with a stand-up double is Cole Evans. Pomeroy gave chase, but it one-hopped the fence a long way from here. That scored Malarczuk easily. And the Gremlins have indeed flipped the table on Bear Creek. They take a 3-2 lead. Watch the replay here. Ball was up. He lifts it deep enough, the deepest part of the ballpark. Pomeroy not able to get to it. So an RBI for Cole Evans, a big one. Coming around to score. Malarczuk, who ran for Ochoa. Meanwhile, looks like Colin Walsh will get up and throw. Jeff Lyons going down to catch him. So the string broken by the walk to Remeke, and the spell, it seems, broken by a couple of RBIs. The sac fly from Inoka, followed by the double from Cole Evans, and the Gremlins back on top. Still only one out, and with Bear Creek capable of scoring runs in the seventh, they would like to add an insurance run right here. In for a called strike. For 3 innings, they had a tough time getting anybody aboard. Now with a runner in scoring. Walsh continuing to throw on the Bear Creek sideline. Evans looking on over the shoulder of Madzilakwa. That one bounces in the dirt. So not quite the same rhythm or same smoothness that he had through the batting order the first time. Sometimes the outs seem to come easily, but right now struggling a little bit with the strike zone. That one stays upstairs, still 3-1. On Ty Sebastian. In for a called strike. Sebastian 0 for 1 on the day. Had a walk against Mannion. Struck out flied out to center against Madzilakwa. That one's laced into right center field. That's going to score Evans. And the Gremlins add an important insurance run. Nice piece of hitting by Ty Sebastian. Just went the other way with it. So 3 consecutive hits. And that's going to bring a visit from the skipper. So the Gremlins now on top by a 4-2 score. Evans scoring from second on that one. Sebastian will give way to a pinch runner. It'll be Lucio Retamar. So the announcement coming in, number 21, Lucio Retamar, on for Sebastian, who comes through with a big RBI and in the insurance run. The inning started like the third, fourth, and fifth, just fly ball outs. So the first out was recorded right off the bat, but it was Remeke patiently working a walk Inoka getting the sac fly, and then single, double, single from Ochoa, Evans, and Sebastian. That's where we are right now, 4-2. And the Gremlins looking just 3 outs away from a perfect 3-0 through pool play, and trying to lock up that #1 seed for tomorrow. 2 games on tap for tomorrow. We'll be here for them. 1 versus 4 here on this diamond on the schedule for 9 a.m. And then the championship game set to go at noon, if I have that correctly. Colin Walsh coming on for Matt Zuliquan, so you can close the book on him. 3 stellar innings, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Set the Gremlins down in order. Got the leadoff hitter here in the 6th, so he had 10 in a row that he had retired. And the wheels sort of fell off from there. Yeah, unless they change the game times, it is indeed 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for the semifinal, 1 versus 4. And also going off at 9 a.m., 2 versus 3. That'll be at the Beach Road field where the Gremlins played earlier today. And then the championship game set to go at noon right here at Pine Grove Park in the heart of Port Huron. Beautiful city. It's been a very hospitable stay for all of the teams here. Beautiful scenery. St. Clair, the blue water behind us. The sun now breaking through. Colin Walsh in for a called strike on his first pitch. Blake Hunter's the batter. Walked and flied out in his first 2 trips to the plate. Bredemar on as a runner at first for Sebastian. Lucio with good speed also. He's off to the races on the pitch. Throw comes in late, and Lucio has himself a stolen base. You know, you look back at the inning, you can talk about the hits and the double by Evans and so forth, but perhaps the key move was Tane Mumu coming on as a pinch runner for Remeke, stealing second on the first pitch, winding up at third base, and it just seemed to change the mood and the attitude for Matt Zuliquan. Little change up, a good one. Hunter holds up, but just foul tips the ball out of play. But it was really the first sign of life that the Gremlins have had, or had up to that point in the game against Pami Madzuliqua. And then I guess having the heart of the order with Inoka, Ochoa, Evans, and company didn't hurt either. Finally figured out the right-hander for Bear Creek. That one hits the bag and rolls into right field. Hunter rounds first. Redemar coming on to score. The throw comes in, and it hits Hunter, but he'll say, I'll take another base as well, so he winds up at second base. First base coach Greg Hicks is going to go out and make sure that he's okay. The throw came in. I'm not sure where it hit him. He's pointing to his right forearm. Let's watch the replay. The ball hit right down the right field line, hit the bag, and bounced up and into right field. And the problem for Bear Creek, when a ball does that, you have to wait for it. Hitting the bag slows it down. You've got to come further to get to the ball, and Redemar coming around to score easily. So 5-2 now, Gremlins. And Hunter represents another potential run. He'll give way to, I believe, Gonzalo Mazmu as a runner. So skipper Greg Leather using all the young kids with speed. And he has gotten the most out of them. Used Mumu, Malarzuk.
Number 33, Brian Avery.
Redemar, and now Gonzalo Mosmu. Here's Brian Avery. Avery had that sac fly back in the second against Mannion. That was the first run of the game. My, how things have changed since then. Good pitch from Walsh. That one over the top, drop in for a called strike. Like watching three different games, really. Riley Mannion pitched the first 2 innings for Bear Creek. It was a 1-0 game when he left, so looked like a classic matchup between these two teams. And then Pami Madzulakwa came in and just started the string of hitters retired. Had 10 in a row. The Gremlins couldn't do much of anything, just flyouts, more flyouts, and some strikeouts until the 6th. Part 3, Gremlins on top, 5-2. That one's fouled straight back to the screen. Right back at us, we're sitting right behind home plate, about 4 rows back of the fence. Best seat in the house, and we are happy to share it with you from wherever you may be watching. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast and the game. Hope you'll have a chance to join us again tomorrow at 9 and 12 Eastern Time on the Gremlins Network with Softball Premier TV. In for a call, strike on the outside edge. Avery down on strikes. Good pitch by Walsh, great location as he closes out the inning. But the damage done by the Gremlins. They score 4 big ones on 3 hits. And at the end of 6, it's the New York Gremlins 5, Bear Creek Express 2, and we'll head to the 7th. Be back right after this. Don't miss the finish. Some re-entries being announced for the Gremlins. Number 6, Jerome Remeke coming back into third, and Eric Ochoa coming back in. He'll be back at first base. They were both lifted for runners in that 4-run 6th inning, the big one for the Gremlins. Jack Bestgrove came on in relief of Kuba Osika. Osika had 3 real good innings, then surrendered the 2-run homer in the 4th. Skipper lifted him immediately, settled things down with Jack Bestgrove, and the bats came to life last inning. If you've seen any photographs taken by some of the players around or fans at the field that are being posted on Facebook, you'll see some beautiful scenery, the St. Clair River to our right, the Blue Water Bridge between Port Huron. There it is on the screen. Thank you, Luciano. Blue Water on the left side is Port Huron on the right, heading into Sarnia in Canada. On the field, the USA, New York Gremlins, and Canada's Bear Creek Express, 2 of the very best teams in the world, closing in on the 7th inning. But it's been a great weekend thus far here in Port Huron. They have been a very hospitable town. We're being treated very well, great hospitality. The boyhood home of Thomas Edison, if you know the story. He lived here from age 7 to 17. I can relate, living in Michigan at age 7 myself, but we'll leave the story there for the moment. Both paper boys growing up, but I think that's where the story ends. But a museum here on the waterfront for Thomas Edison. Great spot to visit if you've not been here before. Back to the action we go, though. Colin Walsh will be the batter against Bestgrove. Took the first pitch for a ball, swing and a miss on that big roundhouse rise ball. That'll even it at 1-1. Gremlins 3 outs away from a perfect pool play record. That would give them the 1 seed, I believe. Northeast Drillers losing last night. They have another game next against Midland. Bear Creek has another game. They'll play the late game this evening against Midland. So those are the teams in the hunt. I think AWP still with a chance. We'll leave the playoff matchups to the tournament folks. Right now finishing up a great ball game, perhaps finishing. Hard over the top drop in for called strike 3. Walsh didn't like it, but strike out in the first out of the inning. It was a good hard over the top drop from Bestgrove. Don't know if we'll get another look at it, but a lot of pop in it, a lot of late movement. Sometimes the hitters don't see the late movement. I think Walsh just thought that ball was up anyway. Here's Jason Hill. Hill's been aboard twice, single to center and walked. It was Hill who scored the first run for Bear Creek, coming home on the 2-run homer by Travis Jones. Jones waiting on deck. Swing and a miss late on the drop ball. Same pitch that he threw Colin Walsh. Hill mad at himself, I think, on that one. Thought he would catch up with the pitch, not able to make contact. Very good hitter at the plate. Lifts that one foul down in the left field area, coming on to make the catch out there. I believe that is Matthew Waugh still. Yep. Matthew coming a long way to make the catch. So 2 outs in the inning. It'll be Travis Jones, who at one point looked to be the hero for Bear Creek. Turned a 1-0 Gremlin lead into a 2-1 Bear Creek lead with a 2-run homer back in the 5th. Now trying to breathe life into Bear Creek, keep things going late on the rise ball. The home run by Jones came against Kuba Osika. He was the last batter that Kuba faced before Bestgrove came on in relief. And to this point, Bestgrove has done his usual lights out. Off the plate outside for a ball. Three strikeouts thus far for Bestgrove in relief. That one skips the glove and bounces to the screen. So Jones advantage with a 2-1 count. Gremlins, as we mentioned, 1-0 winners last night over the Drillers, 11-0 over the Ohio Bombers earlier today. Swing and a miss by Jones for the second strike. Now just 1 strike away from closing out their 3rd win, leading 5-2. Bear Creek, a winner last night, 2-0. This would even their record at 1-1. Should they lose, they would still have another tonight with Midland. Swing and a miss, and down goes Jones. That is the ball game. Final score here. New York Gremlins coming back for a 5-2 win Jack Besgrove, the winner in relief. Bear Creek evens their record at 1-1. They'll wait around to play Midland in the nightcap at 9 p.m. The Gremlins, meanwhile, will head home for the day. 2 wins under their belt to go with one last night. It appears they'll have the 1 seed and be back here tomorrow. But be sure and check the boards to make sure we have it reported correctly that they do finish pool play 3-0. For the Gremlins Network, for Luciano Lofrano and all the fine work from Softball Premier TV, we thank them. Bruce Tansky, the sponsor, we thank you for all you do for the Gremlins, and most importantly for the fans out there who get to watch these games on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. We're going to close up shop here. We'll be back tomorrow. 2 more broadcasts, 2 more games to bring you live from Port Huron, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time. Hope you could join us. So long.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.